Hello people, welcome to this video dedicated to AutoCAD 2015. Feel free to leave us comments to improve our videos. In this video, we will see how to organize your future projects better, using layouts and annotations, and how to use groups and the layers. Let's suppose your 2D project is done. Usually, in professional projects, dimensions and lengths are added. These are used to show measurements on any 2D object that spreads over the XY plane. On top, open the Annotate tab. You have two main annotations in AutoCAD, the text and the dimensions. Check out our previous video to know how to use the text annotations. Dimensions are used to represent lengths through arrows and, besides, the correct unit value. AutoCAD doesn't work with a fixed measurement unit. It is just defined a general length unit, which can be seen as 1 meter, 1 kilometer, or 1 millimeter. You do decide how this unit must value according to your project. You just have to keep in mind that AutoCAD uses, by default, the meter scale for lengths, so convert to meters if you have lengths in feet. Also remember that the comma separates decimal units, not the dot. Angles do have a measurement unit instead, which are the degrees. You can show measurements on lengths using the dimension button on top. Then you just have to fix 2 points and a third point to place the annotation. You can choose between ISO 25 and standard styles, which may differ on how the annotation is shown. Mind that annotations do not work outside the X and Y plane. Plus, if you click on the arrow below dimension, you can add other annotations, like angular to show angles in degrees, arc length to show arc lengths, and radius to show the radius of any circle. If annotations are shown in a wrong size, you can right-click on them and go to Properties. You can change color, the arrow's shape, thickness, and size. Mind that the annotation is a known object that you can move, edit, and delete as a normal object. When you select it, additional blue nodes appear. These do represent where you are taking the measurement. Changing their position may change also the measured value. In AutoCAD, it is also possible to make 2D layouts. In the bottom left corner, you have two main tabs, the Model and the Layouts. The first one is your current project, while the second ones show how your current project is, for example, after printing. Let's suppose you want to see how your project can be. Set your favorite point of view in 2D or also in 3D. Then press on the plus. This creates a new layout referred to your project at the current point of view. Pay attention to the colors and the visualization you are using. White lines are shown here in black. The grid is in black as well, with the x-axis in red and the y-axis in green. If you use any realistic or solid view, AutoCAD will show some shadow on them. Right-click on the layout interested to rename or delete it. You can also set its size, dragging the corner nodes on the workspace. When it is ready, you can export it by right-clicking and going to Plot. Let's see the groups and the layers. Both are very important to organize complex projects. In this it happens, the lines and objects are so many that it becomes very hard to distinguish and manage them completely. For example, if you need to manage many objects in the same way, just group them. Select them all, right-click and go to Group. A group is indicated with a rectangle contour that contains all objects inside. So if you move, rotate and edit this group, all objects inside will be modified in the same way. You can delete the group right-clicking on it and going to Ungroup. You can also use Add to Group and Remove from Group to add or remove objects. Different from groups are the layers. The layer is indeed a group of objects, but with some fixed graphic options, such as color, visibility, transparency, and line thickness, so that any object that belongs to a particular layer will take all its related properties. If you click on Layer Properties in the Home section, the Layer Properties Manager opens. On the right you have a list of all your layers created. By default you have two, one called 0. You can create a new layer using the first button on top. You can also rename and delete a layer right-clicking on it. You cannot delete default layers or layers with objects inside. The table on the right shows the full properties related to each layer. Status says which is the current layer. A current layer is the layer you currently use while drawing on. This means that the object, once done, will have the same properties of the current layer. You can select the current layer anytime double-clicking under Status, or selecting the layer using the bar next to Layer Properties. This bar also shows the complete status of the current layer that we are going to see now. The second column is the layer name. This is unique and is shown when you hover on the objects for some time. By layer means that the object is using the exact properties of the layer it belongs to. In order to manage your project better, it is better to leave properties always at by layer. The On column states which are the layers on and which off. A layer off is an hidden layer that disappears from your workspace. This is very useful in case you have too many lines and objects, hard to manage if everything is present. Pay attention, an off layer is a layer that is still considered by AutoCAD in case you render or plot your project, whereas a freezed layer is indeed off but is also totally ignored in case you render or plot. A locked layer is a layer that is still visible but you can't move or edit any of its objects inside. You can change these properties simply clicking on the respective symbols from the Layer Properties window or from the Layers list from the bar directly. Then you can define the graphic properties related to each layer, from the color to the kind of line or its thickness. You have also other buttons below the bar. What you know now is enough to use layers properly, don't worry. You may need to change the layer associated to an object. All you need to do is just to select the object and then change the layer using the bar. Thanks for watching. Visit our channel for more.